This is day 135 of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi. If you would like to sponsor an upcoming show of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi, it would be very much appreciated. Please contact me directly. Today we are learning from Siman Tzadik Daled Sivav to Siman Tzadik Daled Sif Yud Gimel. So, we are talking about the directions for Shemona Esrei. That was the Siman. And we are sorry again. Vav. Right. Okay. I don't seem clean. This is what we talked about, as I mentioned yesterday. We're not finished yet with the directions issue. Class, I don't seem clean. Even though, theoretically, we should direct ourselves, if we live in Russia, to the southeast. So does not do this. They go directly to the east. But only the time can do it, and they face east. And this is the type of thing which Arukh HaShulchan Kedarka by Kodesh. I want to explain how it could be Kedin. Rabbi Kiva's feel Shechina b'Marav. Rabbi Kiva holds the Shechina is in the west. Chen Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi. B'torach Yisbal Rakut Samarav Shali down to the west. Chen Rabbi Avo Sober Kan Ayisham. Rabbi Yeshua Yishmael Rav Sheshes feel they hold Shechinas b'Chomaka. It's everywhere. You can spell Ezer will shoot to any direction you want. Ayin Sham. Because of Rabbi Seinu, Bali Atesis Sham, Evroches, Evrosh Sham, Batur Basimon Zed, the Kol Hani, Kol Tanai Tayavam, Roy, Lo Silakach, Bryce Shchai spell Naked Yushalayim. These Tanaim Amroy do not hold you have to daven opposite Yushalayim. Can a dover to move, that's Ayin Sham. If we can't dover to came the Kohani, Pligeloi, Echbaskingach, Brysa. If all these people argue, Hakibaskin like the Brysa that says down towards Yushalayim, some people say down towards the east, some towards the west. But none of these people there say towards Yushalayim. Because of the Shama Babasa, say Rabbi Chanikach Brisa, Tamay Rabbi Yosha, Tuni Yosif to B'tzav, find it there, it's all a dream. So there Babasa Rabbi Chanina holds like this Brisa, where Rabbi told Rabbi Yoshia that you that live in the north of Eretz Yisrael should face south. Ayin Sham. But this also seems like passing like Yochi, Rabbi Chanina against the Rabbi. Also, it's more difficult. How can all the time that you don't have through Yerushalayim? Hello Shlomo, towards and through Yerushalayim. Hello Shlomo b'tfilaso Amar. Shlomo Mel said he's probably derech hartzam. They should daven through their country, here through the city, which you chose, and down towards this house. The Daniel, he spelled Yerushalayim. So Daniel, so we'll talk about Daniel himself. We'll open up windows as we saw earlier, and davening towards Yerushalayim. It seems that this is the matter. The Babas Shalom and the Babas Lepachina Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi. Ask Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi, Damar Shechina b'Marov v'Yomar Yolam Adrim. He says Shechina is on the west. Yet on the other hand, he says show his face south. And like we said, you should turn yourself slightly. Perish Rashi, Marov. You should stand in the west, and to turn slightly to the south. Basmag Basin. Pirish Lefach, Ayin Shamaita, but Smag says do the opposite. Stand towards the south and face slightly towards the west. From this we see that when they say daven in a certain direction, it's enough to face slightly towards that direction. It doesn't have to be completely. Do not need it either body and face directed towards there. According to Sani Omer, I say the Kul Tanoi Bamroi the Babasro. Those Tanoi Bamroi and Babasro speak about directions, not about Yerushalayim. Low plige, they don't argue. Alach the brachos and the brachos. The Kul Swile and the old Shetogli Chavin connected Eretz Yisrael and Yerushalayim. You have to daven towards Eretz Yisrael towards Yerushalayim. Basov and the Shechina b'Marov, and those are the Shechinas on the west. Gankin and Mitzadei Ratzudei. You turn slightly. Klomar Daminos from Omdim b'Mizrach Eretz Yisrael b'Dromo. Those are in the east of Eretz Yisrael and its south, Ubitzvono, or its north. Yecholim Yispal Tzamarav, they can daven towards the west. Vadrem Atzvonim, and those are south, those are north. Yispal Tzamarav, and they should daven primarily towards the west. Yitzadadum, they should turn slightly Dormo Tzafon, to south or to north. Or half of the opposite. Yispal Tzadormo Tzafon, to daven south or north, utzadi marav, and to veer slightly to the west. And those which are in the west, like ours, the bechrech shalif marav, you can't turn towards the west. You can't have choreina outside Eretz Yisrael because then we'll be facing away from Eretz Yisrael, so we can't fulfill the Shechina b'marav, diving towards the Shechina in the west, mamish. Can't do that. So what do we do since we can't face directly to the west? Modim we can't down towards the west. Rov Olam Dibru. They spoke about most of the world. So those who hold that Shekhinah is everywhere, you can daven anywhere that you want. So they agree that you have to face your face towards Eretz Yisrael. Always follow inside Eretz Yisrael. And daven towards Eretz Yisrael. And turn your face slightly to anywhere you want where the Shekhinah could be. Ches, Nimtzofi said, I mean, Neged Eretz Yisrael, Yerushalayim, and a Kavanah Neged Mamish. So standing opposite Eretz Yerushalayim is not dafka. Access the Til Shem, it's a little inclination to there. But Ani Omer Mitam Zeh, and I say that on this account, Shema Braisi Yecham Nes Libo Keneged Eretz Yisrael. It says, direct your heart towards Yisrael, Keneged Yerushalayim. Loma Lomar Yamo Keneged Eretz Yisrael. Why does it not say you should stand opposite Eretz Yisrael? El Mishum Nezeh Iev Shar B'chol Makom. The diamond to bound, but you can't always direct yourself directly towards Yerushalayim. And it's enough to turn slightly towards Yerushalayim. To turn your face in that direction. Putting your face in that direction is enough. When we meticulously infer from the tefillah of Shlomo Melech when it says down through that country, you saw down through the city which you chose. Now which says down to the place why does it not say by Mokom Derech HaMokom? Why does it say El HaMokom? My Reishon Ba'am Yerushalayim. No, skip, sorry. But so it seems to me to be Spalu Mokom Hazeh, daven to this place. My Reishon Ba'am Yerushalayim. So when he's in Yerushalayim, B'chol Chavein, and can direct himself Mamish L'Mokom HaMikdash, literally L'Mokom HaMikdash. Avoderech Hartzom Mayrei, but through the land is talking about Kasher Yiglu B'Gos and the going to Gos. The Derech Marisham, and through the city is talking about the Misralim Eretz Yisrael when he daven elsewhere in the land of Israel. Adover, move on. This is understand. B'cholim Iyam Shai Spol Neged Eretz Yisrael Mamish. The entire we can't daven the entire world in the opposite Eretz Yisrael. The Rochavo Marbei Godol Eretz Yisrael, because the width of the world is much greater than Eretz Yisrael. I'm not sure exactly what he means by that. I mean, you can, every direction you can face to Eretz Yisrael. It sounds like it's axiomatic by him. They have to dive in to the west or to the east, and therefore, and therefore, you're going to be further. For most of the time, further more north, further south in Eretz Yisrael. I'm really not sure that's what he means. And they says Chen Kol Eretz Yisrael Arbei Yerushalayim. Chen Mar Derech Eretz Klomar Eisen Etia L'Sham. Some inclination there, Yechavin Libo, and have in mind as well. Test Ufiz Ein Tzich Hamina Mamish Eretz Yisrael. According to this, you only literally have to stand opposite Eretz Yisrael. So sharp at Minag Shalonu. With this, our Minag comes out well. We stand towards east, even though we're in the northwest. I'm not sure what he means. Oh, I see. In other words, he's saying we're northwest, but it's only slightly west. We're not completely west. We're northwest, but only slightly west. Netil Ma'arav, we're slightly west of Eretz Yisrael. Below Garami Achzor's point came in the Ikar Kamasei of Eretz Yisrael. So it's davening to the east is no worse than davening with a little, turning it in a different direction, because the primary thing is Kavanah Soleil. Since we're standing towards the east and directing our Eretz Yisrael, the Noidim Eretz Yisrael Gam Kain. And when there is an inclination at there, so we're not at the absolute north, but the north which is adjacent to the west. So therefore, when we turn to the east, there's an inclination towards the west of the world, Eretz Yisrael Omedes, where Eretz Yisrael stands. It's a very difficult Arukh HaShulchan for me to accept. But why go to such lengths to obviously if it's a limud chus, it's limud chus, so therefore it doesn't really matter how you ma'amid chus, and it still would not be the ikra halacha. But it is he's saying basically the directions are never possible to be precise, and therefore what the main thing is that the direction should be at least partially towards Eretz Yisrael. And if Eretz Yisrael is in the southwest, so turn to the southeast, turn to the east. There it's just, but you just the truth is that just as well you could turn to the south. But I guess because of that other Gemara Ba'abasa that says that Shekhinah B'Mizrach, then you would turn towards the east. But it leaves me unsatisfied. I'm sorry. I heard once, I think it was about bells, that bells the Rebbe made the shul and bells in a direction that it was facing directly towards Yerushalayim and by a compass. And that between the shul and Yerushalayim there was no avodah zarah interrupting, so the derech hartzam could be literal, go through that straight to derech hartzam through that angle. But all right, yud because I've been see makam aram in the side I feel neged zrichas hashemesh mamish. You don't make the place to Aron and the place you daven literally opposite the place the sun rises, because that's like the heretics who daven towards the sun, to the sun. It should be the area where the sun is at the middle of the day. Somebody wants to fulfill the Chazal's suggestion that somebody wants a rich turn towards the north, or become smart, turn towards the south, and become mitzay part of the Mizrach. Nevertheless, his face should face the east. And the question, what he means by this? Some say that this is what he means to say. They came to the since our country is tend towards the north of the world, the sun does not rise due east. It's southeast from us. We're going to put the Aron and the Yisrael Mamish Neged literally against the sunrise. We're going to be end up davening south, not north, east. The rather should go like the sun is in the middle of the day. Because then it is between south and north, in the middle, and the wall will be directly east. That's the case. Is the opposite of what says Steve Dalit on Utzrichim Lamid Negem Mizrachis Ramis. That we should go out to southeast, east-south. Some people argue in the Ramah in this, and in fact he brings down the brackets. Ayin Tas Yikon the base Magaravam Yikon Dam Magarav Yontab Shom Eli Rabbis Yikon Gimel Shagom Iskimel Avush Lamid Mizrachis Ramis. Everybody says to do the to the southeast. Mishnah Berurah writes that even though the Lechem Chamudos was Mlamed Tzchus and Minig Olam, nevertheless it's best to do like Levush, that there should be, but the wall of the base Medrash should be, or the base Knesset should be a little bit towards south, so that is Mechuv and Connecticut Israel, and whatever Limud Tzchus we can give, notwithstanding. Yeah, Fanita Mauser says Arukh HaShulchan, I'm astounded. Dr. Rabbeinu Amar Lo Yodazeh. The Ramah not know the Chachmas Chitonius of geography to know that Eretz Yisrael is in the southeast. We see in Sefer Torah, the Ramah was a big philosopher and a big yad on in Chachmas Chitzonius. I believe he has the Marshal. Once the Marshal was his cousin, I believe, complained to him once about his learning and writing about philosophy, and the Ramah answered him and said, "No, he studies philosophy at the time when other people are holech batel, they are spaziering, they're taking their walks on Shabbos. Instead of taking a walk on Shabbos, the Ramah would then learn philosophy." That's what I remember. Furthermore, why did it say it's because our bequesting to that? In other words, it has nothing to do with it. It's a whole question of direction, not a question of meaning. Linearly borrowed the Adrabah. It says Arukh HaShulchan, the opposite is true. Kamashal the Afa Avagav, the feeling Tias of the Yosenu, tells that even go according to the direction of our country. So we should have we should have put the east side shul Takeh, southeast, opposite the sunrise. History says it's going to be in the southeast, which is the proper direction anyway. Nevertheless, came meaning Medaktim was that since the heretics are meticulous about davening towards the sun specifically, to bow down towards the sunrise. We should not do this. And I mean, we should rather put it towards the middle of these. Even though it won't be literally specifically opposite Eretz Yisrael. Okay, so says the Arukh HaShulchan, this fits well with my limud chus, that to do south to east would be a problem. Looks like the heretics. So if we do east, then decided to do the, if you can, Iker is Mechav and Libo connected to Yerushalayim. Chem is saying the Mishnah wrote to last year. That's why he says, concludes with those who want to be meticulous about getting rich or getting smart. He should turn his face slightly in the direction. And therefore, we don't have to be meticulous in being precise opposite Eretz Yisrael, because when we see test like we mentioned above. It says in the brackets, Vagon, it sounds like Ghost Reef. Don't know what that is. Shai Pik. Shai Pik he lays a claim against the Ramah. Rashi Muvur that Rashi says seems to say that the facing slightly is to the south. Avasmak said that Tzila Mizrach, and the Smak says the facing is towards the east. Mabakavana Kasa Kain, and the Ramah. Sorry, it's way not the way we. Agon Rabbi Shai Pik Shalom Rashi Muvur that Tzila Lidon. The tzidul should be towards the south, which I guess the Rabbi Pik holds that means that you should face south. Have a smag kosav that tzidul mizrach, but the smag writes that you should face east. For Ramah kavana kosav kate, the Ramah wrote this specifically. Come at loba ina amid al mizrach mamish. You don't have to literally stand towards the east. El tzidul ba'alma, just turning slightly. So according to him, again, it's unclear, but evidently, according to the Ramah, you stand facing south or north, depending on whether you want to become smart or rich, and then your mitzvah to do day towards the Mizrach. Yud base. Aron Kodesh Kovim b'Mizrach. Aron Kodesh in the east. I feel covered side acher. Even if they put it on another side, Mikom Makom, Lisparlu Ma'am Mizrach. You should dive to the east. Like I mentioned a couple of days ago from the Yeshiva Svei Yitzchak Chonel base Medrash, and from the Mir Yeshiva base Medrash. Therefore, you shouldn't specifically put on the not put in the west, because then you're going to be forced to dive in that direction with your backside to the Aron. So according to what the Gedolim say, to go slightly towards the south, because that's where they were in Russia, it's the northwest of Eretz Yisrael. And we also should put it on the north, because this reason on the south. But we never saw that people put it in that specific location. To a specific direction, except the time I'm being Mr. Coach become Kosim, they always put in the east. In the brackets it says here, I'm Bakshim Midvar, the Diver Amah, Haim Kalavush, Haim over to Makhti Shaka, Vutamoa. Okay, not important for us. You came around Kurosh Mitzvah. So they put it towards facing north, outside the room south. Chaltirim is telling us outside, and all the team was diving that direction. Vechor says one wants to dive into the east. Lo Yasaken, you should not do that. Because that's the case, not everybody bow down to the same side. Looks like people diving to do different authorities. You should dive to the side that the tzibur is being mispalel, and a little bit, turn yourself a little bit to east. Ach imu mispalel vado sham shlobish al tzibur mispalim. The kiddush of down the shul by the time the tzibur is not there. You'll get spal connect close to mizrach. Then daven towards the east, even though the urn is on the north and the south. It does not look like two separate authorities. We're still not out of the woods with this one.